So, a quick recap, I'm 27 years old. I just left the church I was at because everybody that found out about my diagnosis decided to tell everybody else about it because they didn't know what to do with me. I felt like a project. I felt vulnerable. I did not know what was going on with myself, and I just needed to get away. But instead of leaving churches altogether, I decided to try to go to my professor Leah's church. Her and her husband were pastors, and I decided I would go try that. So I went. It was in January. And I went, sat near the back. I was allowed to cry. They didn't have a problem with it. I didn't have to put on a fake face and pretend to be all wonderful. They were kind, they were sweet, but they let me come and go, and I spent the next 6 or 7 months doing that. And Leah would pray for me afterwards. She would pray for peace. She'd pray that I'd be able to sleep. She'd pray that my headaches would go away. I was still dealing with my counselor, trying to figure out what this means to be DID and trying to get to know the insides a little bit, although it was very difficult because I hated myself at the time. I had a massive self-loathing, did not like myself, did not like them. It was a difficult 6 or 7 months, but I went through it. And one of the key things is I have always loved theater since I was very small. I love theater. I love being on stage. I love acting and singing and dancing, and it's just something that I enjoyed. Probably because I could have any emotion I wanted and not get in trouble for it. I could be angry on stage. I could be sad on stage. I could be happy. Like, I could become that character and leave me behind and not worry about me at all. So that was very, very helpful. What happened after I'd been at this church for about 7 months, they decided to get ready for their Christmas production. There was a gentleman in the church who wrote this Christmas musical, and he began to cast it, and I'm like, I feel comfortable on a stage. I can act. I can do this. I can sing. I can dance. This is going to be a lot of fun. And so I joined them, and I got to be one of the angels dancing, and I got to be in the town scenes, and I got to actually meet people who were going to the church because I had no idea how to meet somebody. What do you do? Hi, my name is Steph. I'm DID. Do you want to be friends? Like, you can't do that. And I couldn't have just a simple, hi, great weather, we're having conversation with anybody because there was too much going on inside of me. So I pretty much was alone for all those months until this musical. And I auditioned for it, and I was joining a part of it. And I actually had a lot of fun getting to meet people at this new church, and they were kind and they were sweet, and we would go out. I remember one time after one of the performances, it's like midnight. Where do you go after midnight to hang out with somebody and talk about the show? And oops, I forgot this line, or I tripped over this, or we used to have all kinds of fun talking about it. And so we'd go to Denny's. I remember one time, me and one of the couples that were in the play with me, we were like, let's go to Denny's and get banana splits. Like, that was the thing to do. So we went to Denny's, and we were tired, we were exhausted, and we ordered banana splits. And our waitress is like, I'm sorry, we're out of bananas. What? You can't be out of bananas. And then we tried to order 2 or 3 more things, and it's like, sorry, we're out of those too. And it's like, really? Every dessert we want, you guys don't have? It was a bummer, but I didn't forget that story. I still remember it. And I think what Leah was doing, because she had said she'd pray with me, and I kept it waiting and expecting to talk to her, and we kept waiting, and she would pray for me, but we weren't really talking about anything. I think she knew, 1, I needed to build trust. I needed to learn that I could trust her. And 2, I needed a community of people. I couldn't dive into all of what was going to come up in therapy if I was alone. You really need a community of people to heal, because you need people who love you. You need people who are going to be there. Not that they have to know everything, but just healing happens in community. And I think Leah knew that. And so that's why she was waiting, and I was consistent, and I was waiting. I was seeing my therapist, trying to figure out the madness inside my head, trying to deal with the anger, but it was a slow process. But that play enabled me to finally make connections with people in that church. And so I am very grateful to the fact that I love theater, and I'm very grateful that that small, tiny little church put on that performance, because those were the first steps in building the community of people that were going to be around me and love me and support me as I dove in to all of the trauma that was coming up very shortly. More to the story. Thanks for listening, and have a great day.